everybody, welcome back to SethCool323 Gaming. Today, as you can probably tell, we are doing Redstone tutorials. It's going to be super fun. Basically just teaching you the basics of each redstone component, which is defined as anything under the redstone section I'll be covering, except like trapdoors and fence gates and doors, because like those are kind of obvious. If you power them, they open. Other than that, we're going into it. So, let's get into the first thing. Okay, so number one, we have the basics of redstone. You have an input, like this button. You have an output, like this redstone lamp right here. And you can have things in between to change how it works. But basically, input, output, lamp turns on. We're going to be using redstone lamps for most of this tutorial because they're the easiest thing to show if something is powered or not. Okay, so right here we have 15 blocks of straight redstone going into a lamp. There should be no problem there, right? It turns on. Now, we have 16 blocks. This is where an issue happens. It doesn't travel far enough. So, that is a problem. Redstone only travels 15 blocks maximum without anything helping it extend. If we have this, which is 16 blocks with a repeater, and actually it goes farther, but just to demonstrate, let's just remove this and put it here. This is the same length, as you can see. The lamp is in the same spot, but with a repeater, it turns on. And as I was showing before, if we grab some redstone and extend this, this could go a whole nother 15 blocks, and it would still power the lamp. Now, why is this a bad thing to use repeaters sometimes? Well, a repeater causes delay. As you can see, I mean, it's not that apparent, but this is actually a 1-tick delay. So it takes 1/20th of a second longer to power that after I press that button than if I just use straight redstone. These can actually be set to 4 ticks, so it's even longer. I'll do that now to show you how long. Like, as you can see, I press it, then it turns on instead of this, which is instant. So yeah, 1 second is 20 redstone ticks. So here I have 4, 4, and 2. This would be half a second delay. If we want a whole second delay, we would break this. 4 times 3 is 12, and then we get another one to 4, which would make it 16. And then another one to 4, which would be 20, and that would be a full 1 second delay to power the redstone lamp. Alright, so next we have soft powering. If you power a block, blocks can be used to transfer redstone signal. So if we power this block with just redstone, this lamp turns on. And actually, if we put lamps on any side of it, they turn on. The problem is when you want to get redstone out of this. As you can see, this lamp is not powered because this redstone is not powered. And that is due to the fact that this wool here is being soft powered by this. The only way that I could power something like this using redstone is if I hard power it with a redstone component like a repeater, but if I press this, as you can see, the lamp turns on. So, just something to note. There is a difference between wood buttons and stone buttons, and of course all wood are the same, and all stone and blackstone are the same, but they are different. Wood button is actually a 1.5 second hold down time, whereas a stone is only 1. Look, if I press them at the same time, or almost, the stone one still turns off first. So, if you want it to hold a signal longer, then definitely go for this one. But yeah. Alright, now let's say you have an input on the ground and you want to carry the redstone signal up. There's a few ways to do this. These are the two most common ways, is slabs. You can actually use them as if it was like lacing up the slabs, and it will power that redstone lamp. Or we can use a redstone torch tower, which is this, where if we take this, goes into here, this will actually unpower this redstone torch, because redstone torches invert the signal. So if it's on, if it gets a power, it'll turn off, and vice versa. And since they can power each other, we can have a torch tower, and it will actually invert all of those, making this on, which would power this. So if we go ahead and test it, as you can see, it turns on. Like I said, redstone torches invert the signal. So if you power a redstone torch, it will turn off. So let's say you have a light here and you want this to be on all the time except for when you press a button. Well, this is what you would do. When I press the button, the light turns off, then it turns back on when it unpowers. As you can see, the redstone torch loses power and then regains it. That's how a redstone torch works. Next is the lever. Pretty simple. Flick it once, it stays on until you flick it off. As you can see, it's staying on. Flick it off. But a lot of people will go through the effort of using buttons and contraptions to turn on and off things permanently just because levers are so ugly. Like, ugh, who would want to build with that? I don't know. But, you know, sometimes it's useful. Alright, daylight sensor. Basically, it senses daylight. Since it's day right now, it's giving a redstone signal. If I do /time set night, as you can see, the redstone lamp turns off. And if you right-click a daylight sensor, you get a nightlight sensor. I think that's what it's called. And it senses night. So if it's powering right now because it's night out, but if I do time set day, it turns off. So that is how a daylight sensor works. Next we have pressure plates. So these are actually not different in the way that buttons are. Stone and wood hold for the same amount of time, but there is a difference. If I take an item and throw it onto this stone, it doesn't do anything. But if I throw it onto the wood, it actually powers it until the item either despawns or is picked up. So there's that. The basis of pressure plates is that something pushes it down and that's giving a signal. Next we have pistons. So if I remove these so you can see the difference. This is a normal piston. If I put a block in front of it and I press it, it extends, but it doesn't pull it back. So the block will stay here every time. Most people don't use these because sticky pistons are its counterpart, and if you put a block there, pushes it and then it retracts the block back. You can do this as many times as you want. The block will keep going back. So these are really good for like secret doors and stuff because they work 100,000 times and it works every time. The comparator. It is intimidating. Lots of people do not want to know how this works because they think it's complicated. It is not complicated, except for the fact if you right click it. I honestly have no idea what that does. But we're not going to use it like that because most people, that is not what a comparator is used for. A comparator basically takes the output of a chest or something that can hold items and gives a redstone output based on it. So if I put a sticky piston in here, this will turn on because it has an item in it. Now the other thing about comparators, let's say I have all these diamonds, right? If I put one stack in, as you can see, it gives a 1 out of 15 redstone pulse. So in order to power that, I have to put even more stacks in until it's enough that the comparator can give a strong enough signal to power this lamp. So keep that in mind. If I take out some of these, then it turns off. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That's how a comparator works. Target blocks. So in here we have a bow and arrows. If you hit a target block, it gives a redstone output. That is the basis. Now, if you do something like this, you take a comparator out of a target block, and then you get a redstone lamp line like this, it would actually tell you how close you were to a bullseye. So if I go like here, as you can see, only some of them get powered. If I can hit a bullseye, almost, if all of those light up, then I would hit a bullseye. So yeah, as you can see, all of them lit up. That means I hit a bullseye. So that is how you use a target block. Next, we have tripwire hooks, which are very rarely used because pressure plates are just so much easier. But, I mean, some people like them. Basically, you have a tripwire hook and a tripwire hook, and then you have string. And if you put string in it, then it, like, lines it. And if you walk over it, or anything walks over it, it'll give a redstone output. So yeah, that is how tripwire hooks work. Next we have hoppers. These are really cool because they transfer items. If I put as you can see, the hopper is hang on, let me show you. The top, that's where it pulls out from. So if I put a chest on here, then it will pull items out, and see how it's pointed into this chest right here? That shows you where to put the item. So if I take this chest, put it in here, it disappears, goes through this hopper into this chest. Now, what you can also do is throw items onto an open hopper, and it'll pick them up and put them all into the bottom place that they can go. Now, another thing about hoppers, you gotta be careful about this if you're doing a redstone contraption, is that they can lock. This is a normal hopper. If I throw a hopper onto it, it goes through. However, if it receives a redstone signal, like this, then it will not pick up any item. If I get a chest and put it here and put something in it, it won't pull it out because it's being powered. But as soon as you unflick this, it'll work again. So, yeah. Alright, redstone block. Basically, it powers everything on all sides of it, no matter what it is. It's just like your ultra power thing, but it can get pretty messy in redstone contraptions because it can power things that you don't want it to power. However, it can be pushed by pistons, which redstone torches cannot, so and that's something for it. But you gotta be careful, it can power things you don't want to power. Lock hoppers. And then the last two components that I'm going to show today are the note block. Alright, so if you right click a note block, it changes the note. As you can see, the note is changing. And if you left click it, it plays the selected note. So as you can see, the note color is not changing. Now, other things you can do with these is you can place a block under it, and it plays a different sound. So like an emerald gives like an arcade sound. There's a lot of different blocks you can use. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. It gives like a clinking sound, like a bone, kind of. So, yeah, that's cool. And my favorite thing to do with note blocks is make a chain of them. If you line them up with repeaters, you can link as many as you want, really, within a certain range of chunks, and make them play a song. So, watch. And you can adjust the repeaters in between two different tick delays to make an actual song rather than just one of those. But yeah, that's cool. And then the last thing is a dispenser. Now there are droppers. Droppers basically, so if you put any item that can't be like shot in a dispenser, it'll do what a dropper does and just drop it out. That's what a dropper would do with any item, even like arrows or something. But if you put arrows in it, you actually get it to fire, and a dropper would just drop that out as an item. And you can just spam click this and shoot them pretty fast. They're kind of not accurate, so there's that. But yeah, you can link up like redstone clocks behind these and get them to fire super fast, but I'm not going to go into that today because we're just covering the basics. And with that, guys, I want to say, be sure to like. By the way, this took a while to figure out how to build. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Comment down below. Few announcements. We have a community Discord server with O4 Space Dasher and a couple of other channels. You might have seen them in the Bed Wars video. If you like those content creators, join our Discord server. That's the best way to get suggestions to me because I check Discord a lot. Other things, we made a community channel as well to go along with the Discord server. Link will be in the description. And I plan to stream very soon in hardcore. We started a series like last Saturday, I believe. And yeah, so go check me out on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch, link in the description. And I will see you guys next time. I'm actually breaking blocks, but who cares? Bye.